You're listening to an old episode of MGM. Sorry, guys. If you want to watch new stuff, go to patreon.com/Metal Gear Mondays to support us, and we will, it'll fund our drinking problems to create more Metal Gear Mondays. And the cycle continues.
This week on Metal Gear Mondays, Alessio explains Metal Gear to somebody who's never played any of the games. Ladies, gentlemen, boys, and girls, my name is Alessio Summerfield, and you're listening to Metal Gear Mondays, the podcast where we tackle the Metal Gear Solid franchise from start to finish, top to bottom, left to right, inside and out, in chronological order, sometimes. As always, I'm your host, Alessio Summerfield, and this week I am joined by...
James Reichmuth, long-time listener, first-time guest.
So, guys, I know last week we mentioned that there wouldn't be an episode this week so that we could take a break for everybody to finish playing Metal Gear 1. However, I talked old James into sitting down with me and recording just something bonus to give you guys for this week. That way we're not missing an entire week of show. So enjoy this gift from us to you. What's up, James? How are you doing?
Pretty good, man. It's can I just say, it's an honor to be here.
You're always here because we're in the studio that we both work in. For those of you at home who do not know, so James and myself both co-own and co-manage a production company in St. Louis called Forever an Astronaut, and James is on the Geek Time podcast with Sam every week on Friday. For the most part, he was not on the most recent episode as of this recording. And yeah, James is just kind of a general game-loving dude.
I do love games a lot.
However, he does not love the Metal Gear Solid games, nor does he hate them because he has no experience with them. James, have you ever played a Metal Gear Solid game?
I played... Xbox put out free Ground Zeroes, and I played like an hour of it, and then got angry and stopped.
Why did you get angry?
Well, you know, it was hard, and I didn't have patience for it. I think it ended up being like I just couldn't figure out what the fuck I was doing. Like, I was so directionless and, like, lost. I was just like, all right, I'm out. Bye.
Yeah, I think to some extent Sam has actually been that way on all of the other games in the series until 3, which forced him to be patient and get over his, desire to kind of rush through everything.
Yeah, well, it's weird too because like the way that I play most games is I try to go like very methodically and like stealthily, I would say. But then I inevitably fuck it up and everybody notices me and I have to scream barrel past everything.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's interesting because some of the previous Metal Gears, you could kind of just like when you're seen die. I guess you could do that in 5 as well, but I feel like 5 is a little bit more nerve-wracking because of the open world nature. Prior to playing Ground Zeroes, had you played or seen any of the other games in the series?
I think I watched a cutscene in one once where, like, you left the game on for like 30 hours and the last boss just died or something. I don't know.
Well, James, the main reason why I wanted to do this is because I thought it would be fun to field some questions from somebody who knows nothing about the series.
It's brave of you.
Yeah, let's turn it into a Q&A, man. Go for it. What do you got?
So why is that military-looking woman not allowed to wear clothes?
Which one? Any of them?
I guess. I was thinking of the one that's like in the 5th one. Clover, is that her name? Quiet? Yeah. Clover.
So, spoiler alert for anybody who has not played 5, you should probably stop listening for the next few minutes. So Quiet, much like the fella that you were talking about, who if you change your game clock or whatever, he dies.
Yeah.
So they're somewhat related.
Okay.
Not biologically, but kind of like same stuff. Their skin photosynthesizes.
Excuse me?
Yeah, so they can't wear clothes. So let's talk about it for a second.
Yeah, let's.
So the End, the old man in question, in Metal Gear Solid 3.
Wait, his name is the End?
Yeah, his name is the End.
His parents are assholes.
Well, that's his code name.
Allegedly.
So he is dressed from top to bottom.
Right.
He's wearing clothes.
Totally is.
However, the games narrative claims that Quiet can't wear clothes
Yeah, what's
or
that
else
about?
she'll suffocate.
Yeah.
Feels a little...
Convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One is particularly weird because Kojima was catching a lot of flack for presentation of women in games.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, oh, no. It'll be worth it in the end when you know the story behind it.
Right.
But it's not. It's stupid as fuck. So I don't really understand. Because in trying to explain it to you, I just realized that the end is literally dressed from head to toe like a normal human
Right.
being.
He's like in army fatigues.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Why can't she be?
Right. Why can't she be?
Well, so in the beginning of the game, she does start out in army fatigues.
Mm-hmm.
And then later, when you meet her again, she's dressed the way that you see her in all the promotional art.
Right.
What's particularly weird, too, is that as you play through more of 5, you unlock outfits for her.
Okay.
And one of them can, again, be like actual battle fatigues. So I don't really understand why the swimsuit outfit wasn't the unlock as opposed to the regular outfit.
So it seems like they designed the character, and then they were like, well, we need a way to explain why. So, okay, why... Had it already been established that the end dude was a photosynthesis dude?
Yeah, it's in Metal Gear Solid 3. Like, that's his whole shtick, is that, like, he's old as fuck and is an amazing sniper because he can effectively talk and communicate to nature and kind of receives his life force from the sun.
What the fuck? Who's writing this? What does that mean?
So, and I will say this too, how the fuck does Metal Gear come off to somebody who's not in the know? Because it's one of those weird things where it's like, it's presented as like a hyper-realistic military stealth experience.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you've been catching wind of all the like weird shit tied into it.
Right, well, and that's what's like always been intriguing about it to me, is because like looking at it from the outside, I've always been like, okay, it's like military, like shooter stealth game, like great. But then like I hear y'all talk about it, and like some weird shit seems to be consistently happening. Like you got photosynthesis dudes, you got like fucking. There's so many snakes. There's like a solid snake. Is there a liquid snake? Is there a gas snake? Like what's?
No, there's a solid, liquid, and solidus snake.
Why didn't they just go with
snakes.
gas? Like,
I don't know. Well, those are code names too.
well, sure, but gas snake could be like a fat snake that like has a desk job instead of like field duty.
Oh man.
So yeah, it seems
What
like
other-
there's like a lot of like supernatural stuff to it. Maybe.
Yeah, shit gets weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's not. It's all like. And I might be wrong, I don't know. It's like man-made, supernatural-esque stuff. It's not like fucking, like, magic and shit.
So early on in the series, there is no explanation for some of the crazy kind of supernatural things that happen.
Okay.
Which I kind of prefer the ambiguity.
Mm-hmm.
But as of, and we're actually getting into it soon, ever since Metal Gear Solid 4 onward, the running joke is that Metal Gear Solid 4 explains most of things with the explanation that it's nanomachines.
Oh, yeah.
So that's kind of
Okay.
that's like the meme joke about Metal Gear. It's like, oh, crazy batshit thing happened that we can't explain.
Yeah.
It's nanomachines.
Is Metal Gear the reason that people in general are so afraid of nanomachines?
I don't know, maybe.
Has it permeated our culture?
I don't know, they might.
It's interesting. Okay, so it's nanomachines. Is that why they can photosynthesize and communicate with nature and shit?
I believe that so Metal Gear Solid 5 takes place in 1984? 1983?
You serious?
1984? Yeah. So I think the explanation is that the parasite... So they claim it's a parasite
Right.
that was created.
A hyper cool parasite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This Joe Cool parasite,
Yeah.
I think kind of the in-game explanation is that it's that inspires the technology to create the nanomachines. Does that make sense?
Interesting. Yeah. Okay.
So Metal Gear Solid 1 takes place in, I should have had notes. So the game came out in 98.
Yeah.
But I think the game's supposed to take place in like 2001, 2002.
Okay.
And then Metal Gear Solid 2 takes place in 2009, I think, or 2006 and 2009. And then Metal Gear Solid 3 takes place in 1964.
Right.
And then Metal Gear Solid 4 takes place in like 2020 or something.
Okay.
And then 5 takes place in 1979 and then 1984.
Okay.
Yeah, 1978 and then 1984.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's kind of all over the place.
So yeah, the only stuff that I know about the game are from like what I've read about Metal Gear Solid 5, like, which is not a lot because like I just don't have time. And like Ego Raptors and Metal Gear Awesome. Like that's my primary source of knowledge about the Metal Gear series is straight from that. So I know there's stealth, I know there's exclamation points and like that boom sound when you get spotted. Like I'm a big fan of that sound effect. And boxes.
Yes.
Boxes are a big thing.
Yes. Actually, boxes were almost not in Metal Gear Solid 5.
How could they get rid of the mascot of the series?
I don't know.
Pretty messed up.
Yeah, apparently a lot of fans being pissed off is why there are boxes back in Metal Gear Solid 5.
There's also a horse that shits.
Yeah, it's pretty wonderful.
Yeah.
And a lot of Assassin's Creed jokes.
Yeah. Why? Is there like a rivalry with...
I don't know. Maybe, I guess, because they're both kind of stealthy
Yeah.
in open world.
I wouldn't consider Assassin's Creed to be stealthy anymore.
Yeah, it's true.
It's
I
like
think the last one I played was...
Brotherhood.
no. Was it Revelations?
Revelations,
Where it
yeah.
ties up the story or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the last one I played. I remember that one being kind of stealthy.
Yeah, that one was kind of stealthy, and then like Assassin's Creed 3, and like moving on, it just like got like very like action, running and like stabbing.
Nice.
Like it's harder to play it stealthily, but you
I
know.
mean, Metal Gear is pretty hard to play stealthy, too.
Is it?
Yeah, most people just kind of run and gun through it.
But that's not the way you're supposed to play it.
No.
Right, you're supposed to play it stealthily.
Yeah,
'Cause you're
technically,
like a covert ops dude, right?
Yeah, technically the way that you're supposed to play it is you're not supposed to kill anybody.
Okay, is that possible?
Yeah, that's how you get like the best ranking in the game is
No
to like
shit.
not kill anybody. And, well, I mean, obviously you have to fight bosses and they have to die for plot reasons,
Right.
but I don't think those count towards your like kill rating.
Is Solid Snake immortal?
Solid Snake's a clone.
What?
Did you know that?
No, I don't. I'm like afraid to say things because I don't like. Am I going to spoil things for like listeners if I talk about?
We're almost we've talked about Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
And a lot of the side games.
Okay.
So there's really not much that hasn't been spoiled except for 4 and 5 content.
Right.
And it's like kind of nebulous. And most people who are listening to the show have already played 5.
Okay.
So
like
I would assume.
So like Big Boss
Mm-hmm.
is Solid Snake,
Big Boss is OG Solid Snake.
and you play as Big Boss in 5.
Yeah, you play as Big Boss in 3, Peace Walker, and 5.
Okay.
And Portable Ops.
So Solid Snake is a clone of Big Boss.
Yes.
And
Liquid Snake is a clone of Big Boss. And Solidus Snake is also a clone of Big Boss.
Are there clones of like Solid Snake? Like are there dummy clones that like spun off of other clones?
No. So all of the soldiers in Metal Gear Solid 1 technically have some of the same genes as Solid Snake because they're all like experimental genome soldiers.
Okay.
But Solid Snake's like a full-blown clone.
Right.
And then there aren't any clones of Solid Snake.
Interesting. Did they try to clone Solid Snake?
No.
Like, was there ever like a plot where they had to capture Solid Snake and? Okay, so why?
Well, that's interesting to me, though, because if you think about it, so they cloned Big Boss in like the late '60s,
Right.
Actually, I think it was 1972.
Okay.
They cloned him. If they're able to clone a human being successfully in 1972, it's
Yeah.
weird that it doesn't happen at any other point in the series.
Right.
So that raises an interesting question.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. Because
Yeah.
like,
I mean, if he's like this ultimate badass soldier, you would
Right.
think more people would want clones of Solid Snake.
right, or you would think that like they would try to like clone Solid Snake and realize that like since he's a clone, like his genes are imperfect and it just creates these fucking abominations.
That would be Solid Snake versus Zombie Snake.
Exactly.
Would be fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
into that. That's great.
Yeah. So. Since that didn't happen, I mean, I guess they can keep that if they want. They can add it to
There
like a
you go,
pachinko
Kojima.
machine.
You can have it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they did well, no, Sega did it. I was going to say there's a Yakuza 1, 2, 3, and 4, but then there's a Yakuza of the Dead, and it's just like a
amazing.
zombie spinoff.
So does this is like more on like the meta level, I guess? Does Kojima still own like the IP, or is it a Konami IP?
It's Konami.
Okay, so like Kojima can't do anything.
Yeah, he
with it
literally
anymore.
can't do anything with it.
Wow, that's
Though there's a hidden exclamation point in the mascot of his new company,
Oh, yeah.
which I thought was funny.
that's awesome. That's awesome. I remember there was like one game where like wasn't there like an Easter egg where you had to like find these like data shards and it would like spell out a message of like fuck Konami or some shit. So in like 4.
Well, actually, in Ground Zeroes, there's a unlockable mission that's called Deja Vu.
Yeah.
And you go around kind of recreating scenes from older games using the environment.
Okay.
And you can find little hidden logos
Yeah.
of all the games.
Yeah.
And if you look at them and you call Miller and talk to him, if it's a non-Kojima directed game, he'll say, oh, that doesn't count, or like he'll say like, oh, that was garbage, or something like ridiculous. But then if you find the logos for the games that Kojima directed, and this is curious, 'cause this is like 2 years before Kojima left Konami.
Sure.
If you look at the logos of the games Kojima directed, Miller will say something like, they can erase the name, but they can't erase the memory, and then the logo will like disappear.
So that's interesting. Let me pose something to you. What are the chances that Kojima right now isn't Kojima and he's a clone of the OG Kojima? Right?
Where's the actual Kojima?
I don't know. That's a good
He's
question.
chained up in the basement in Konami?
He could be, because I mean, you can't erase the memory. Like maybe that's his cry for help. Like the new clone still has his memory, so the new clone thinks that he's Kojima.
Can the clone Kojima be called Clone-jima?
That'd be amazing.
Hideo Clone-jima?
Yeah. Oh my God, that means Norman Reedus is in danger. We need to save Norman.
Reedus is not actually friends with Kojima. He's friends with Clone-jima.
Exactly. Oh man.
Clorman Reedus.
Clorman Reedus. Because I mean, if Konami's as nefarious as they seem to be, I could see them pulling a big boss on Kojima.
Maybe they're like secret invasioning all of these big name people. So Guillermo del Toro is actually slowly getting replaced by Guillermo Clone del Toro.
That's a good one. Thank you for that. Yeah, I mean that's possible.
PT, please try to help me. Is what that stands for.
So like Metal Gear, like that's a thing, like it's a robot or something, right?
Yeah, it's the big ass like robot thing.
Right. And then like the Solid part is in reference to Solid Snake.
Yeah, so originally it was just called Metal Gear.
Right.
There's 2 games called Metal Gear 1 and Metal Gear 2.
Yeah.
And then when it came out on the PlayStation, it had been like over a decade.
Okay.
Since there was another Metal Gear game.
Right.
And it was called Metal Gear Solid.
Okay.
And the explanation internally is that Hideo Kojima was like, it was entering 3D, and we were like creating solid objects.
Right.
So it's like both, it's like Solid Snake
Yeah.
and a play off of like entering 3D.
Are the first 2 games like isometric top-down games? Okay.
And they were they were released on the MSX, which is a Microsoft system that was only in Japan.
Yeah.
So the MSX and the MSX2 got Metal Gear, Metal Gear 2. And then in America, we got Metal Gear for the NES, but it's a very different version of that game.
Interesting.
So the plot is completely different.
Yeah. Huh.
And then there was a game that came out just in the United States and Europe called Snake's Revenge.
Okay.
Which was a sequel, quote-unquote, to Metal Gear.
Right.
That's not canon, and it plays like a Contra game. It's like a top-down shooter.
Okay.
It's weird.
That is very strange.
Yeah, and a different team made it.
Sure.
So let me pose this to you. So James, you're 21, is that right?
Yeah.
So Hideo Kojima, primarily by himself and with a small team of people, made Metal Gear 1 when he was 21 years old.
No shit. So
you're
saying I'm falling behind is what you're getting at.
Step it up, dude.
Man,
you're gonna die.
I always hate that because like I always see like I get mad when I see like famous musicians that are like 18 and I'm like, could have been me. Except I'm not talented, so it couldn't have been.
It's just practice, man. Practice more.
Yeah, exactly. The painters didn't wake up knowing how to paint. They just painted a lot.
That's true.
Yeah, that's a Macklemore quote. You can keep that one.
God damn it. I will say, so between Metal Gear 1 and Metal Gear 2, apparently Kojima so he worked on a bunch of bullshit games at Konami before, and then they said, hey, do you want to take over? And so the whole idea was they wanted to make a crazy action-packed shoot-em-up on the MSX.
Okay.
And for whatever reason, due to hardware limitations, they just couldn't make it happen. So they kind of like abandoned the project. But they were like, hey, Kojima, do you want to do this? And Kojima was like, well, since we can't, due to hardware limitations, do like a shoot-em-up, action-y, like run-and-gun game. Right. Because every time you change screens, it would like refresh everything.
Okay.
Kojima was like, why don't we just make like a hide-and-seek game? And I think that technically Metal Gear was like the first stealth action game ever. Yeah. And Kojima's has always talks about how he's a pacifist and like very anti-military.
Sure.
So he wanted to make a game where you didn't actually have to engage in combat.
Right.
And so he made this like hide-and-seek game. But anyway, after the game came out, I don't think he was doing anything for like 2 or 3 years. And apparently some guy from Konami on a train saw Kojima and said, hey, are you ever going to make a second game? I love Metal Gear 1.
Oh my God.
And apparently Kojima decided to start writing the plot for Metal Gear 2 on a napkin on the train that night.
Wow. Did it have to be on a train because people at Konami aren't allowed to talk to one another at work?
Probably.
Yeah. So is it like a like 5, like the newest one? Is it still? Can you still go through it without killing anybody?
Yeah, technically. So you can get well, in a cutscene, somebody does literally get like fucking shotgun to pieces.
Sure.
So probably not. But
Sure.
technically, you the player
Yeah.
can get through the whole game just like putting people to sleep instead of killing
Okay.
people.
And does that still like contribute to like a better ranking?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like you get bonus points for not killing people.
It's interesting because it seems like mechanics that like people want to like hold on to like that end up getting phased out the further we get, just because like people want to kill things. I don't know. Because I agree with like on the Kojima route. Like I like to play games as a pacifist too. Like whenever I'm doing like any sort of like RPG or anything like that, like I always like try to up my charisma because I want to talk my way out of everything. And like in stealth games, I try to avoid people. Like playing Dishonored, I tried to like do the whole like ghost thing right away, where like nobody even sees you. So I totally get that. That's pretty cool.
It's fun.
It seems like a weird fucking universe that he built, though.
Yeah, it's weird. I feel like I don't know. It's one of those weird things where like I think it kind of starts with that guy on the train that was like, "We love what you did. Can you do it again?"
Yeah.
I think dude just kind of built this, and especially having worked on Metal Gear 1 with such a small team, I feel like he kind of got away with doing whatever the fuck he wanted.
Sure.
And then it was successful, and so Konami, instead of anybody saying like, "Hey, bend to these guidelines,"
Right.
I think it's just been increasingly weirder and weirder because it's just like kind of one dude who's just kind of like, I want to fucking do this. We're gonna do it. And they're like, okay. I mean, I'm sure there's a team of people, but like, I feel like. Do you think Kojima is the most recognizable game director name? Can you think of another that like a common person would recognize?
Yeah, I mean, like as far as just like strictly game development, I would say yeah, because I mean the only other person that comes to mind is like Major Nelson, but he's involved in so many other things besides game development.
Does he actually develop games? I thought he was just like a PR guy.
I thought he helped on development for Gears,
maybe,
or no, that's Cliffy B.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, and Cliffy B, I think, is familiar to people in gaming. But I feel like Hideo Kojima, like,
transcends
people
it a
know
little
that
bit.
name.
Yeah.
And it's weird to me that he's kind of the only one.
Yeah.
He's like a film director for games. Because, like, even his name appears on the box art where, like, directed by so-and-so would be.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, I guess you're right there, because, I mean, even, like, other ones that you think, because I'm trying to think of, like, games that, like, have, like, a lot of lore, like Metal Gear does, and something like the Ken Levines and, like, the Todd Howards. I wouldn't say that they're recognizable to, like, the common person. Whereas, like, Kojima, people would be like, oh, I've heard that.
Yeah.
Or, like, I've seen that
Well,
somewhere.
and you wouldn't see, like, a Ken Levine joint, like, under Bioshock.
Right, exactly.
Which is interesting.
So,
yeah, how the fuck did he get away with that, I wonder? Especially at Konami, where, for all intents and purposes, it sounds like that's a fucking concentration camp.
Yeah.
Like, to put it, to be real.
Is it, is it like a culture thing? Is it a Japanese culture thing, like having your name on it like that at all?
Like, I can't, other than, like, Suda 51,
Yeah.
I can't. Like, Suda 51 and, like, fuck, what's his name? The guy who did Deadly Premonition.
Yeah.
What is it? Swery 65.
Yeah.
Those two dudes, like, almost kind of jokingly, like, tongue-in-cheek, it'll be like a Suda 51 game or whatever.
Right.
And I think gaming people know, like, fucking, what's his name?
I don't know.
The Nintendo dude.
Miyamoto.
Miyamoto.
Yeah.
Miyamoto's name comes to mind, but, like, he doesn't, like, Super Mario Brothers,
Right.
directed by Shigeru Miyamoto. Like, you don't see that.
It'd be amazing, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, well, then I, like, having not played...
Or even, like, Hironobu Sakaguchi, the guy who did Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Like, his name's not on any... Like, it was on the Blue
Right.
Dragon box art, but it says
Right.
from the makers of Final Fantasy.
Yeah, that's super strange, because, I mean... And even looking at, like, Metal Gear, like, I've always thought it seemed like cinema. And I think that was honestly the reason that I was never like, I should go play that game, because I always kind of felt like it wasn't a game, and it was a piece of, like, artistic cinema.
Yeah. One, it probably helps, too, that, like, in the jump from 2D to 3D, Kojima put a shit ton of effort into making sure I had, like, cinematic camera angles and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's also kind of a point of notoriety, or infamy.
Yeah,
with
isn't
Metal
it
Gear.
for, like, all cutscenes?
Yeah, like, people just lament the amount of cutscenes. And then my biggest gripe with 5 is there aren't enough cutscenes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like realistically,
Yeah.
like, that's my biggest complaint.
Well, we had a friend that said like there's so little cutscenes that he didn't realize 5 had ended,
Oh yeah,
and you just kept aimlessly wandering.
yeah.
And is that a common thing?
Yeah, so 5 and Peace Walker have this weird thing where like the game ends like several times.
Yeah.
It's like the game will end, and then you can play still,
Yeah.
and then like shit will happen, and then the game ends again,
Okay.
and you can still kind of play after.
So you get multiple credit scenes?
Oh, dude, I'm not even joking. In Metal Gear Solid 5, so you played Ground Zeroes.
Yeah.
So imagine Metal Gear Solid 5 is like 51 Ground Zeroes-esque missions
Okay.
with a bunch of side stuff.
Okay.
Every time one of those Ground Zeroes-esque missions starts and finishes,
Yeah.
there is a credit sequence.
What?
Every single time. So you will
Why?
see I don't know.
Can you skip them?
Well, and it's actually super frustrating because, like, so there's like a hub, like a main base
Yeah.
that you are on.
It's where your dog lives.
Yeah, and
I
you
know
can
things.
you can go into the field to do missions.
Yeah.
Well, every time you go into the field, it does this like, and it's like Big Boss and the helicopter getting ready,
Right.
and like as it's taking you to the location, it'll say. Mission 17, fight the killer robots, and then it'll say like featuring Big Boss, Revolver Ocelot. But no, it fucking sucks because it will give away twists that happen in the mission
Really?
where it'll say also featuring this guy who you haven't seen yet, and
my
you're like,
God.
what the fuck? Why would you say that? And then it's like written by these people. Like it does like the kind of almost like movie credit
Yeah.
opening stuff. And then when you beat the mission, there'll be like a cutscene or something, and then it'll be like, all right, cool, and it'll say like you unlocked this stuff and your fucking
Right.
points went up.
Right.
But then at the end of that, it goes. And it's like directed by Hideo Kojima, like, and then it like goes through like a full credit
Oh my
sequence.
God.
It's insane. I think it's fucking over the top.
Now I know where Sonic and the Black Knight got their style from.
Yeah.
Got it from Kojima.
Well, and on top of that, I think they treat each mission almost as like its own quote unquote like episode. So
Right.
it's like episodic, but not.
Right. So I'm glad you brought up the base because I had a question about that. So is Big Boss with his base just like capturing and indoctrinating soldiers?
Yeah, that's pretty much what's been happening.
Yeah.
And it's in a couple games. So Portable Ops is where it started, this
Okay.
mechanic. Peace Walker is almost identical to MGS5, the way
Okay.
you recruit people.
Yeah.
And then Metal Gear Solid 5 continues the trend. So, like, you straight up knock people out, tie them to a balloon, send them to your base, and then they get tortured until they decide to work with you.
The greatest method of transportation.
Yeah,
is
well, so-
tying a balloon to somebody.
We didn't mention this. So Solid Snake is a clone of Big Boss.
Right.
I don't think I told you. So Big Boss is the primary antagonist of the Metal Gear series.
What?
Yeah.
But you are what?
So in Metal Gear 1 and 2,
Yeah.
the final boss is Big Boss, and
You-
Snake kills him in Metal Gear 2. And then
What?
and then like in every game after that, it's usually something to do with Big Boss is what the problem is.
Huh.
So it's almost like you play as Darth Vader for half of the games, and
Yeah.
then Luke Skywalker for the other half.
That's amazing.
It's weird.
So I mean,
So like we're playing as him becoming the bad guy, if that
right.
makes sense.
So he doesn't start out as a bad guy.
No.
Okay. But so is it like ends justify the means type of like transition to bad guy, or does he just like get corrupt?
It's up to you to decide, James.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
We have time for one more question. What question you got for me, James?
Oh man, that's you put me on the spot with that. The ultimate question. What? This is hard.
Yeah, one more. Or it could be two quick ones.
What is the purpose of what's like the ultimate purpose of like all the nanotechnology? Like, is somebody trying to like corrupt the world with it?
That's actually a really good transition into our season 4 or episode or Metal Gear Solid 4 season.
Yeah, I got you.
So essentially, Metal Gear Solid 2 is a prequel to 4. 4 is like a direct sequel to 2. 2 sets the stage for like information control being like the biggest, baddest thing
Sure.
you can do.
Right.
And then 4 is all about how information control can essentially drive somebody to take over the world.
Okay.
So nanomachines become like a resource in that information
Right.
control.
Okay.
So yeah, they are kind of part of
Right.
the big conspiracy.
Right. So really, Metal Gear is just like laying out the groundwork for our actual world and the
Yeah.
things that we're afraid of.
So Deus Ex and Metal Gear
Yeah.
are both kind of like up their own asses the same amount when it
Right.
comes to conspiracy stuff.
Right.
So if you dig that kind of like tongue-in-cheek, oh, this conspiracy is actually what's really happening
Yeah.
kind of writing, then both of those games are kind of in the same vein.
You're making me really want to go check out this Metal Gear thing.
It's good. It doesn't have the RPG elements that Deus Ex has, but
Sure.
it's fun.
But still, I mean, I like the gameplay mechanics, so like I enjoyed Ground Zeroes a lot. I just got mad at it.
Nice. James, you got any final words before we shut it down?
Thank you for having me, and people can direct their hate mail to St. Louis, Missouri. I live inside the Arch, so hit me up there.
Very nice. Yeah, so that's been the show. If you enjoy it, you can check out other shows like it at geekti.me or search Geek Time Network. In iTunes. We're also on SoundCloud.com/The Geek Time Network, / Geek Time Network. We're on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. All is Geek Time Network. You can check me out on Twitter at AC Summerfield. James, where can people hit you?
You can check me out on Twitter at James Reichmuth.
How do you spell Reichmuth?
That's ReichMuth.
Very nice. My name is Alessio, and you can check me out at Alessio at geekti.me if you want to send me emails. We are still accepting responses for Portable Ops or the original Metal Gear 1, Metal Gear 2, or Snake's Revenge. Next week I will have Isaac, Sam, and Cameron and myself, and we'll all be talking about Metal Gear 1 for the MSX, specifically the HD port that was included with Metal Gear Solid 3 in the HD collection. Anyway, that's pretty much been our show. James, would you like the honor? This is the first time you've been on Metal Gear Mondays.
Yeah,
would you like the honor? We typically close the show
Okay.
by reminding the listeners
Yeah.
that it's just a thing. It's a quote. It's a quote from the original Metal Gear.
It's just a box.
It is just a box. Thank you, James. I appreciate that. Have a good night.
Just a box.